When they return to the house, Miss Peregrine finally explains it all. Abe had wanted Jake to have a normal childhood and only learned this when he turned 18, but this is an emergency. Many years ago, a splinter faction emerged among the Peculiars. They were tired of living in the loops, and Baron thought that by harnessing the essence of a Winebrine's power, they could gain immortality and live outside loops. Baron kidnapped a Winebrine and his group killed her to absorb her powers, but this caused them to transform into these monsters called Hollows. However, a few years later some members of the group, Baron included, managed to get their human form back by eating the eyes of peculiar children, and now they were whites. Their eyes stayed white, and they kept raiding loops to get more eyes for the Hollows that were still in monster form. At that moment, the wounded Winebrine awakes and Jake meets the headmistress of the London Loop, Miss Esmeralda. She confirms they were attacked by Hollows, and the whites have set up their machine in the Blackpool Tower thanks to the loop in the area. They want to try the experiment again because they still aren't immortal. Hollows attack everything in their path and Jake realizes the dead sheep are a sign they're already here, so Miss Peregrine decides it's time for them to leave this loop and start one somewhere else. Jake needs to leave or he'll be stuck in 1943, making Emma cry for choosing his family over the peculiar children who need his help seeing the monsters. On his way back to the hotel, Jake finds Frank, Lamont, and a group of people looking at Augie's body, which is missing his eyes. Suspecting what happened, Jake runs away to warn Miss Peregrine, but since Frank doesn't have the energy to go after him, Lamont volunteers to bring the boy back. At the cave, Jake is shocked to see Lamont can cross the loop too and the truth comes to light. This is Baron, who can shapeshift. For months, he's been keeping an eye on Jake by pretending to be Dr. Golan, and now Jake has finally given him what he needed, a way into Miss Peregrine's loop. Baron transforms his hand into a blade and takes Jake back to the house where everyone is packing to leave. Since Jake's the only one that can see the monsters and therefore protect the kids, Miss Peregrine accepts to go with Baron in exchange for Jake. Baron takes her away in a cage, and once they're gone, Esmeralda and the kids begin sealing up the windows and doors to defend themselves against